Molini, and welcome to yet another episode of Conversations with Kgosi. Now, this is the news commentary section where we will be offering insightful commentary and exploring various perspectives on the stories that shape our world.
In today's video, we delve into a pressing issue in South Africa's energy sector. It is no secret that of late, our frustration with regards to the inconsistency of the Minister of Electricity has been on the rise. To add more paraffin into the fire, there is skepticism about whether load shedding, which is a common occurrence in South Africa, will ever come to an end. So, let's get into it.
Now, before Siagute, let us begin by examining the Minister of Electricity's background. Dr. Kgosi is a qualified civil engineer by training who entered the world of politics as a ward councillor for the ANC in Tshwane between 2000 and 2005. After several years running public and private entities, he returned to politics in November 2010 when he was elected as the mayor of Tshwane. By that time, he was also the regional chairperson of the ANC's branch in Tshwane, a position he held until 2018. Pursuant to the 2019 general election, Ramakgopa served a brief stint in the Gauteng provincial legislature and as MEC for Economic Development, Agriculture and Environment under Premier David Makhura. He was only MEC for 4.5 months between May and October 29. Shortly after, he resigned from the provincial government. President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed him to head the Investment and Infrastructure Unit in the presidency. In addition, Ramakgopa was a member of the Provincial Executive Committee of the Gauteng ANC until July 2022. And in December 2022, he was elected to a 5-year term on the party's National Executive Committee. Dr. Kgosi David Ramakgopa was appointed as Minister of Electricity of the Republic of South Africa on the 6th of March 2023. Now that we understand who the dancing minister is, where he comes from, his background, let us try to better understand the inconsistencies that surround his actions, because that is important to examine the prevailing circumstances in South Africa's electricity sector. Load shedding, which is the controlled reduction of electricity supply in certain areas, has become a notorious issue for both residents and businesses alike. It does not only disrupt our daily life, but it also poses significant challenges, guys, to economic growth in the country. In recent years, South Africa's electricity grid has been strained due to various factors such as aging infrastructure, insufficient maintenance, and capacity limitations. These challenges were further worsened by mismanagement and corruption within the state-owned electricity utility, Eskom. Consequently, the national power supply is unable to keep up with the increasing energy demands of the country, which obviously results in frequent load shedding. Let us get into this article. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is in the spotlight as his assertions that load shedding would be a thing of the past this festive season fall flat. Minister of Electricity Kgosi Ramakgopa on Thursday said load shedding would be implemented this festive season, but would be at lower stages. The minister made the remarks during his visit to Medupi Power Station. We are returning a lot of these units. We see a festive season of extremely low levels of load shedding, Ramakgopa said in an interview with SABC. Ramakgopa said Eskom needed to continue load shedding in December as power generating units at major power stations experienced breakdowns. When power generation capacity deteriorated on Friday, Ramakgopa received backlash for his earlier statement that load shedding would ease. As power generation capacity deteriorated this week, the blackouts moved from stage 2 on Tuesday to stage 4. On Friday, load shedding worsened as Eskom announced implementation of stage 6 for the weekend until Monday. Mbalula was not spared from criticism on social media as his load shedding before the end of the year should have been something of the past statement made in May came back to haunt him. People on social media labeled it a broken promise. Ramaphosa expected the grid to gain some stability when companies consuming large amounts of energy closed their doors during the holidays. He said the holidays would provide an opportunity for Eskom to do maintenance work. Your large energy users are going to close, which means there will be less demand on the grid. We will use that opportunity to ramp up maintenance. The article can be found on the Times Live website. Now, that is not the only article. There are a number of articles, guys, different ones that were obviously published, during different times. But it's funny how all of them actually add more weight to why we question whether he understands his role as the minister. I mean, this man literally had a whole department or a post created for him. And then for the first time in the history of this country, we have a minister of electricity under this government that we have now, right? We have a minister of electricity. Not only that, they paraded him to be Superman of load shedding. And they did that. And they justified why they were now giving us the superhero that we did not ask for, by stating that he is a qualified engineer and that he's good at his job. They came in here and told us that the Minister of Electricity plays a crucial role, in overcoming these challenges that we are facing right now, and that he is going to make sure that we have a reliable power supply. However, his inconsistent actions have raised serious doubts among the public regarding his effectiveness and commitment towards resolving the energy crisis in the country. One of the main criticisms the dancing minister has, or that float around his head, right, is his failure to provide a clear and coherent plan for addressing the underlying issues that cause load shedding. While he has made promises and statements about fixing the electricity crisis, there is a lack of concrete actions and timelines to hold him accountable. It's more talk and less action. And this inconsistency in his approach erodes the public's trust in him, and it pushes this belief that load shedding will continue indefinitely. Another reason for the skepticism surrounding the dancing minister is the dancing minister and his effectiveness, guys, is his tendency to focus on short-term solutions. I think that's his signature. I really am starting to believe that his signature is shifting his focus on short-term solutions rather than addressing the root causes of the electricity crisis. Temporary measures such as emergency power procurement or the imposition of rolling blackouts may provide short-term relief, but that alone does not address the long-term sustainability of the energy sector. And as for the procurement of diesel fuel generators, that is why I am making this video, because how do you take to social media and tweet away and celebrate, when we export coal? And we have now imported generators? Is that it? Whether we bought them or we didn't, we export coal, but we imported generators. Make it make sense, because it isn't. It keeps on getting worse, because why are we always being thrown with temporary solutions? If it isn't the SG of the ANC coming out to declare that we will no longer be on the receiving end of things as a country, especially when it comes to the issue of load shedding, it's the dancing minister saying things, then coming back to backtrack, coming out to dispute Mbalula's utterances, further confirming that this load shedding thing is not going anywhere anytime soon, and that our festive season as a country will be decorated with darkness. Mind you, they're both from the same organization. And so him coming out to celebrate the aid that we received from the Chinese is weird, and having to openly admit that these generators are going to be donated to clinics and schools and is even more weirder, seeing that the elections are around the corner. We want permanent solutions, not these temporary ones that have us questioning what the next step is going to be. Also, experts argue that a comprehensive energy plan is essential for South Africa to not only improve our situation by ensuring that our power stations are run effectively and that the infrastructure is maintained, but that we transition to cleaner and more reliable sources of energy. This means investing in renewable energy, improving the efficiency of existing power plants, and restructuring the electricity sector to promote competition and innovation. However, the dancing minister's inconsistent approach fails to prioritize these crucial long-term solutions, leaving the energy sector vulnerable to continued instability. The public's frustration and skepticism are further fueled by instances where the dancing minister's actions seem to contradict his stated objectives. Without a clear and consistent vision, it becomes difficult for South Africans to trust that their energy needs are being adequately addressed. Load shedding has far reaching consequences, both economically and socially. Businesses suffer from disrupted operations, lost revenue, and reduced investor confidence. Not only that, guys, there were also articles about how hospitals actually struggle. That's why I came out to say it's just weird how you come out and you celebrate that these generators are going to these clinics and hospitals, whereas a backup plan, should have long been put in place. Long ago, not now, because it's elections next year. Long time. I kid you not, certain families would still have family members with them. So, yes, we have lost people, guys, due to load shedding. That's why I was just there, like, you cannot Kaloku come out here and celebrate and then say, I am celebrating because it's going to clinics, it's going to schools. And let me tell you that another, why I find it problematic. We complained about the matriculants or students in general having to study in darkness. Exam season is over. Now that everyone is done writing, you come with generators. Hi, Ninani, there's no making this up. Hey, businesses suffer from disrupted operations, lost revenue, and reduced investor confidence. Moreover, unequal access to electricity disproportionately affects marginalized communities. The scary existing socio-economic inequalities, that doesn't disappear. It literally doesn't. I think recently a certain premier, was exposed for lying also about something because, again, he said something and then the Minister of Electricity said something else. You see it. Do you guys see it though? I mean, you know what? It is imperative that the Minister of Electricity takes consistent and effective action to resolve these issues and provide a stable energy supply for all South Africans. If not, mabayeke, guys, mabayeke. Because one thing we definitely are tired of is the empty promises. Literally, the empty promises. As we conclude the video, it is evident that the inconsistencies that surround the dancing minister, who is the Minister of Electricity in South Africa, raise legitimate concerns, among the public. From a lack of coherent plan to short-term fixes and contradictory actions, these issues erode our trust in the government's ability to end load shedding and ensure that we have a reliable supply of energy. While the challenges in the country's electricity sector are significant, addressing them requires a committed and consistent approach.
That marks the end of today's video. Thank you so much for lending your eyes and ears. I hope that you found today's video informative. Please do not forget to click on that subscription button or light the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any new uploads. Kgosi.